hey guys, welcome to the second week of our 6 weeks coaching. And I'm so excited. Today we're going to talk a little bit about nutrition. I made a very basic, but like refresh, because I know some of you guys are, have a health background. But I created just a quick background for you guys. And if you have any question at the point, you can just please like make a comment and we'll be talking, okay? And at the end, I wrote down every single question that you guys did. And if I did not hit during the presentation, I'm gonna go specific to the questions. Yeah. So I made a PowerPoint for you guys, and this way will be a little bit easier on me. Let me just make sure I see you guys. What did I do last time? See, I love Zoom. See, I just lost you guys and I only have Karen. Yeah. Okay, let's try it again. I'm wondering why. So, does anybody, Steph, have you done Zoom? Because I got stuck again. You want to mute yourself?
What are you trying to do to share your?
Yeah, so I want to try to share my screen here. That's up.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, but I wanted to share just a piece, but it's okay. I gotta. Which you guys hear, so this way you guys can see it. And let me put this away. Thank you guys for the patience. Okay. Awesome. So I'm gonna hit a little bit of nutrition. Something that's really cool. I'm so passionate about nutrition. I've been talking about nutrition for so long. And one big thing that I realized we need to actually create a better relationship with food. And I don't want you guys to have the feeling, that the guilt feeling that, oh, I ate this and now I feel terrible because I ate this. And I just want to understand the food a little bit better and listen to your bodies. Like, every time I eat this, what happens to me? How do I feel? Do I have energy? Do I feel sleepy? So that's, to me, that's one of the most important part that you guys gonna have. Okay. And also thinking about like, okay, what is the best food to eat before a workout? What's the best eat before when you wake up? So we're gonna try to hit all that, and let's just go. So I realized few things on the last 12 years since I moved here is sugar. So sugar to me was a big added sugar. To me, it was a big realization. And the last 40 years, I've been studying a lot about obesity, and especially because I have to do that at school. And I studied that a lot. And I started to realize that especially in the 80s, everybody started blaming the fat. Oh, the fat is the biggest problem. That's why everybody's gaining weight. And what they did, they started creating products and taking the sugar out, taking the fat out of the products, right? And when they did that, and if you take the fat out of the product is actually gonna taste like cardboard, pretty much. And what they did, it was like they start adding ingredients to the food. And the key one, number one ingredients that they add is the sugar. So it's unbelievable, because if you, the last 20 years, like I said, they start taking the fat out. Now you can find anything fat-free. And now you can find fat-free, but the obesity rate went through the roof, right? In the last 20 years, we have over 66% of the country overweight and more than 33% obese. Like, I remember looking the map for the US map, and you see 15 years ago, there were some red states, some yellows, and some light red. And now it went from dark red, and now this year the government just released the new obesity map, and there are states like West Virginia, because I used to live there, they're purple now. So that means over 30-something% of the whole state over 40% of the states are obese. We're not talking about overweight anymore. We're talking about obesity. And I study a lot about that, and I read a lot about so many articles, and I'm gonna guarantee you one of the biggest cause of that was the added sugar. So the number one thing that I realized and we need to start thinking about is like everything, like all the processed food that we eat, they have added sugar. So that would be a huge key for you guys. As everything that you try to buy, make sure it has no added sugar. So if you buy, for example, a frozen meal, they have added sugar in the frozen meal, like a frozen savory meal. Those like lean cuisine, things like that, they have added sugar on that just to make taste better. So same thing as like pasta sauce and yogurt. Yogurts, they have a lot, especially the ones with fruits on the bottom. They have like a lot of sugar added. So the biggest thing that I want to tell you guys is to keep an eye on it is the added sugar on the food. So now we're gonna go for the more practical part. So if you wanna write down, and again, I'm recording this, it'll be easier for you guys. In order to lose weight, we know there is the calorie in, calorie out, right? Guys, I'm actually gonna unmute you guys because you do, because something happened probably with Steph. She had to jump out. But this way we can actually have a conversation instead of me just talking. So calories in and calories out. So that means like the more you spend, right? The more your body spend, the more and less you eat, you're gonna lose weight. It's just math, right? But what happened is when we think about like the metabolism, for example, okay, there's one thing super important. It's called the BMR, and that's gonna tell you how much calorie you're spending during the day. Okay, so there is one very simple math that we can do it, and you guys can do yourselves too after this. You can go on this website here that I'm gonna send it to you guys called MyFitnessPal, or you can go on Google. That I looked this week at least 5 or 6, and MyFitnessPal is the one that I actually tell you based on the height, your weight, and your gender. It tells kind of how many calories you're gonna spend a day just by living. So the BMI is just while you in rest, completely rest, how many calories your body spend, okay? So for example, in my case, if I go only for my age and my weight and my body type, it would tell me that I would spend about 1,400 calories a day just by living, just by breathing, just for my organs, they need that. But because I got to a point that I built so much muscle, my number, because I did a metabolic test, so it was more accurate than the number. In my case, I was burning 2,200 calories just by breathing, right? And that's why this week
that's why I can eat cake.
No, but that's my point. That's why I don't eat cake. I only got that for not eating cake every day. See, that's so funny, because every time people see me eating stuff, it's like, oh, you can't afford. I'm like, actually, I only got this because I changed my habits. So that's a good point. But the funny thing is, I got to a point that if I don't eat enough and if I don't train regularly, like 4 or 5 times a week, I end up losing weight because my body is going crazy. My metabolism is so high. So Larry, one of your questions was about metabolism. So that's what happened. So the good thing about like you guys are already doing the strength training, right? So we're working on building muscle. So that's where we're going to be able to make your body burn more calories, because your muscle is going to need more calories during the day. So that's just one thing. And when you added the standing, walking, stairs, washing dishes, cleaning the house, like the daily things that we do, not the exercise, the daily physical activities, that's going to add like 400, 500 more calories on that. Okay. So when you do your calculator, some of them will ask you if, sorry, I have somebody in the chat. Yes, yes. I actually unmute you, Lorraine. Feel free to talk. Just game as you raise your metabolism. Yes, absolutely. Because this way your muscles gonna be able, they're gonna need more calories in order to sustain. So Karen, is that okay if I share with Lorraine your results?
Yeah.
Yay. So Karen, the last year, she gained about 6 pounds of muscle. And what happened to her, she's now she's spending 2,200 calories, and she's actually 1,000 calories more than she's supposed to be, just because of her strength training.
Yeah, I highly recommend strength training. You're not going to get big. You're not going to get, you'll get toned.
Yes,
look good.
thank you. Thank you for saying that. Absolutely. You're not, so it gets so funny because when I talk, especially to women about workouts, and they're like, oh, I'm afraid to work out to be like so bulky and masculine. And I'm like, listen, in order to be bulk and masculine, you're going to have to eat so much. You're going to have to train so hard, so much. Your loads are going to have to be so heavy. So it's very, very different. Okay. So Karen now it's on the 2,200, 2,300 just by living, just by breathing. Okay. But what happened if we do something that we call, let me find here. Okay, that's what I want to say here. Something I call reverse dieting. So, Larry, that would answer your question. So, the problem is so many people decided to cut calories because they really are stuck to the first calories in, calories out, right? So, if you're training, if you're a person that you are moving, okay, constantly, and if your body, like you have the muscles, of course everybody have muscles, but like you train it, you would burn more calories. But our problem is when you deprive yourself from calories, what happens is your body is gonna say, well, I need the BMR to survive. I need my metabolism, I need my metabolism basal to survive. And should I keep spending extra calories on the other things like muscles, like other things, or should I save my calories for my brain, for my breathing, for my heart? So what happens to your metabolism is like slows down. So now you're thinking, I'm only eating 1,200 calories and I'm losing weight, but you're actually not, because your BMR that's supposed to be 14, 15, almost 2,000 calories, it's gonna be low. Way low. So see, when that's why I'm really want to work with you guys. It's like, if you're the type of person that are like not eating at all or eating very little, what happened is your body's too smart. They're gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna save my calories for the important things, so I'm not gonna be burning calories, and you're gonna end up losing weight but end up losing muscle. You're gonna end up feeling like, oh, I'm not toned anymore, or like, oh, like, I'm gaining weight or not losing weight. In fitness, we call this a plateau. You hit a plateau and you're like, I'm stuck. Like, I'm eating nothing and I'm still not losing weight. And you actually are. You're losing your muscles, but you're actually not gonna burn the fat. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's almost like your body is trying to survive, so it goes after the muscle versus the fat. So you see people that are thin, but they're flaccid. They don't have any tone to them.
I have a perfect. Yeah, go for it.
No, I just think which is probably worse than being a little bit overweight and have some tone. I think having be a little bit, but you're stronger and your bum is maybe standing up a little bit more because you're doing all your squats and your lunges and your deadlifts and stuff. So to me, that might be, but everybody's different, right? Some people just want to be thin no matter what their body shape looks like.
But I agree with you, and that's why it's so funny, because people look at me, it's like, you're the only person that gets mad when people call you skinny. Because I'm like, I'm not skinny. I actually work. I'm like lean. I work to not be skinny because I want to be healthy. And like, as long as you like, doesn't like, that's a big point. Like, we put such a bar on the society. It doesn't matter how much you, like, how you look. I really want to make sure you're like, I look good, I feel good, and like I have energy, because like we said, imagine you're so skinny that you don't have the energy, right? So that's like feeling good about yourself, feeling good about your body, and having the energy to move on. That's the most important thing. So coming back to the sugar, I wrote down like, how can I give it to you guys? How can I deliver to you guys more specific things that you guys can use? So four of the most sugary food that I found is fruit juice. So please make sure when you buy fruit juice, don't buy for concentrate, and just make sure it has no sugar added. The good thing is like, it's funny because like I have to research this, but like every time Michelle Obama, I think 4 years ago, passed a law saying all the label, all the food label, the nutrition facts on the products by 2020, they have to add the added sugar in it. So I don't know if you have noticed, but if you have, I don't have anything here, but if you have any product that you take a look on the label on the back, and it has to be now sugar and added sugar. So this is great for, especially for the juice, because we know the juice has sugar, right? But it's like a good type of sugar. It's a natural type of sugar, is a fructose. But now you can actually see if it's added sugar or just natural sugar. So picking the things like that's for everything. Like the ones who don't have the added sugar. I was so upset, which is a funny story. I was so upset because I'm like, I really like coconut water. And there's this coconut water from a brand called Goya, which is a Hispanic brand. And it is like so much cheaper than the others. And I'm like, yeah, I'm drinking coconut water now. I was buying like $1 for a big one. And I was the happiest kid ever. And when bottles and cans and cans later, I just realized when they changed the food label, when I saw it, there was like, let me put it this way, like 15 grams of sugar, and there was like 11 grams of sugar added.
Wow.
I was so mad, so furious. And on the front of the can said 100% natural coconut water, something like that. And I was furious. I was like, I can't believe it. I just like drink so much because I just didn't know, because it doesn't say added sugar anywhere. So now every time that I need to buy coconut water, I need to double check to see if there's no added sugar. Refined grains are the white stuff, like the white bread, the white pasta. Okay, those are called the refined grains, the white sugar. And if you would change that, change it for the whole wheat ones. And same thing to granolas and cereal. Like, I know it's like a cultural thing about like, especially kids eating cereal for breakfast, but I think there's so many other ways to like make oatmeal a little bit more fun, because the kids and you guys gonna have so much better nutrients. And coming back to all three, I said for the fruit juice, and choose fruit instead, whole wheat instead, and oatmeal instead, is because all three, they have fiber added.
Yeah.
So what happened to our body is when we drink fruit juice, which is completely just a complete liquid, is like they extract the fiber out, right? And when we do this, we have such a big spike on our insulin, because insulin is the one that's going to control blood sugar, right? So, and the problem is like when the body spikes so much the insulin, is the body needs to do something with the insulin. So that's why we start gaining fat. Okay, so the fiber actually gonna allow you not having the spike and have like the insulin more steady. Same thing to something that I use on my protein powder. It's called resistant starch, which is like, it look like, it's called Waxy Maize. I can send it to you guys. And it's pretty much look like cornmeal. like a flour, like a white thing. So what happened is when we drink a protein shake, same thing will happen, right? The insulin is gonna spike, and now this resistant starch and the fiber is the same thing, will not let the spike and will give a more steady. They actually researched that for diabetics as well. And they're saying that that's so much better for them because so this way they don't have a spike into the insulin.
So are you meaning protein shakes aren't good either?
No, they are good. But I found out that if I mix with the resistant starch, I have a better results because this way my insulin doesn't spike as much. So this way my body can actually use the protein for a longer period of time and like digest slowly, which is pretty cool. I sent it to you guys. I really like it. I'm having like really good
What kind of starch? I'm sorry, what was the name?
resistant starch. I didn't
Oh, I
know.
never heard of it.
Hi.
How does it taste?
Hi, Chop. So resistant starch. I can send it to you guys. We can see you.
Yeah, that's why I'm on mute.
We can see you.
Another thing, well, I took the video out because I was chasing him around.
Sorry. Sorry you left.
It's okay. So on oatmeal though, I would remind people that those instant oatmeals have tons of sugar too, right?
Absolutely.
So,
That's something. Yeah, that's something. Yeah. What I do actually to make my oatmeal a little bit sweeter is I add a little, like a tablespoon of protein, like protein powder. And that would absolutely make my oatmeal.
Oh, wow.
And you actually can buy the box if you want the instant because it's, you know, quicker. There are ones that said reduce sugar like by like 50-60% also. So just be aware of that. Yeah, let me go here. Okay, so now I pick up 5 of the best metabolism boosting food. Before I move on to the this roadmap that I'm trying to give you guys, I wanted to take a look on those ones. Complex carbohydrate, right? So they're essential for us. And I understand that so many people go into zero carbs diets and keto diets. I respect and understand that. But bringing a small portion of complex carbohydrate, or even doing something that I do with my one-on-one clients, which would be like carb cycling. With the days that they work out, they would have a high intake of carbs, and the day that don't work out, they will have a lower intake of carbs. Playing like this would get the results. The problem is when we completely take the carbs out, our hormones go crazy, right? Like we have 2 hormones, like one for satiety called leptin, and one for the hunger is called ghrelin. And the problem is like our mood gets very, very. So Steph, let me put you in the spot. How's your mood when you're doing like the zero carb? You get a little frustrated, you get a little stressed out, right? So, and you end up losing weight a little bit faster. But the problem is the yo-yo effect happens most of the time, because again, you're not burning the fat that you need to burn, you're losing the weight. So you're losing your muscle, you're losing the water. And to bring that weight back, it's so much faster. And that's why we call like yo-yo effect. It's like you lose the weight, you gain the weight. It's like it's harder to maintain that. So again, you can do that the day they work out. You can eat a little bit more carbs, okay? And the day that you don't work out, you can even lower your intake of carbs. There's something about carbs which is very important to keep eye on. It's called the GI, the glycemic index, and it just pretty much tells you how slow or fast your body can digest that. So there will be the same thing about the slow raise on your body glucose, okay? So I put this slide for you guys, and that would make easier for you guys. Yeah. So that's why everybody talks about sweet potatoes, right? I don't know if you ever heard like every fitness person talk about like, oh, sweet potatoes is really good. It's because it's a starch, but look, it's on the 60. So compared to the other potatoes, it's a little bit better. Okay, so what that means is like the low GI, so it means like your body's gonna take longer to digest. So again, you're not gonna have that spike of insulin so quickly, okay? And for example, like watermelon, for example, look, 72. So if you need that quick spike of energy or quick spike of like sugar, right? That's why we talk about sugar giving you a quick spike. It's because your body can digest that quickly and can be able to absorb the glucose faster. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so is it a good thing that your body can digest it quicker or slower?
No,
Or just
we want, especially if the days that you train, we want slower. This way you can
Slower.
sustain energy for
Ah,
longer.
okay. And so
Yes,
the
yes.
lower the number or the higher the number is better?
The
when you're
lower the number is
training.
better. Yes.
Lower, okay.
Yes, yes. So I'll send that to you guys as well. I'll put the presentation there.
Great.
Yeah. So we always talk about good fats and bad fats, right? And especially with the keto diet, everybody is like going crazy on eating fat. I just want to remind you there are a few things, are some types of fat that you should be eating daily. So for example, like the salmon, right? Salmon and then fish, they have omega-3, so great for our heart, great for our brain. And also, like I have actually a small olive oil on my desk that every single meal that I do, I just drizzle on top of it. And that's something quick that you could do. So every time I'm eating lunch, like, doesn't matter what, it's just funny, but I just get the olive oil on my desk and just like drizzle on top of the food. Okay. So that's a great tip too. Nuts are a great source of good fats. So remember, we have the unsaturated fat, the saturated fat, which is most likely, not most likely, it's almost animal fat. And we have the trans fat, which is, that's the no, right? That's the one we're trying to avoid. But like things like seeds, avocado, olive oil, those are great unsaturated fats. So those are great fat for us. The coconut oil and the palm oil, it's so funny because there's so many people that say, are they bad? Are they good? Because they are a saturated fat, but they're an exception, because instead of being like a long chain, they are like a mid chain of fat. So they are an exception. So they are saturated fats. They're very beneficial for you.
So palm oil too is good.
Yes, palm oil and coconut oil. I would actually go coconut oil over palm oil. And something very funny that people think it's gross, but it's not, I promise. It took me a few weeks to get rid of the cream on my coffee. And now I put a little bit of coconut oil. And actually now I bought something called MTC oil. But I used to put coconut oil, like just like a little bit, the tip of a knife on my coffee, and it sweetens the coffee. And it really tastes good. If you're doing iced coffee, don't do it because it's gross. Because of the cold, it's gonna solidify, so it would look gross. And it happened to me a lot because my coffee would get cold, and people look at my cup like, "What is that?" And I'll be like, "It's just, don't worry about it." So that's a great source to if you're trying to get rid of the sugar on the coffee and the cream.
Question, you had said the 5 best metabolism boosting food is good fats is the second one?
Yes. So the first one will be complex carbs. The second, I should have put numbers. Second one would be the good fats. Yes. So the third one would be things like lentils, right? It's so funny because in Brazil, we only eat lentils on New Year's Eve. I have no idea why, but I'm actually trying to buy more. So they're really cheap. And like, there's so many things you can do. Like you can do soups, you can do like very different things, and they're great protein source as well. And complex carbs, which gives, again, a slow release and also help our metabolism. Like it just boosts our metabolism. And plus, like there's minerals, there's iron. Okay. One thing one common thing that I notice in that, especially women, we don't eat enough protein during the day. So there's something that it's going to be your guys' homework. It would be eat a protein every single meal. If you decided to do the 3 meals a day, you decide to do the 5 meals a day. I'm giving an example to you guys at the end of the PowerPoint with 5 meals a day. In all of them, you will notice that contains protein. Okay, especially because it's the strength training that you guys are doing. You would need the actual protein. Okay. Also, like we need the boost of the iron because of like anemia, things like anemia too. Yeah. Number 4 would be chili and other spices. So again, yeah, capsaicin, and I have a terrible story about that, but I'm actually gonna tell you. Somehow I had a capsaicin cream outlet. Ray, I don't know if you know, but they have creams they use for arthritis, and they're pretty much like pepper spray. And I don't know how that went up in my house, and I needed because something happened. I was like, I got a bruise or something, and I used my leg and end up scratching my eyes.
Oh,
I thought I'm gonna have to call 911. It
Wow.
was so bad. I was screaming. I couldn't see. So like as
Oh.
soon as I saw the name, I'm like, oh, I definitely remember what this is. I spent a good 5 minutes not gonna be like not able to open my eyes. It was like
Oh.
scary.
Oh, wow.
So what they do is like they raise the temperature of our body, and it's like very similar to caffeine. Same thing with like ginger and turmeric. I really like ginger candy, and I try to buy the ones like not the crystallized ginger, like the actually ginger candy. They're like a Chinese brand, and I just buy it like in GNC, and like sometimes the supermarket they have, and they're great because they can boost your immune system, right? And they have the thermogenic effect. And the funny thing is, like, if any time that I, like have a sweet tooth or something, I want to eat something, I can eat a ginger candy, and I'm like, good for a while. Also, egg yolk. Egg yolk contain B6, iron, besides absolutely other vitamins and minerals. A lot of people talk about the amount of fat there is, and also they have something called L-carnitine, which is amino acid that promotes fat burning. I remember buying, oh my gosh, so long ago, buying pills of L-carnitine, which is an amino acid to help with so long ago. And I was like, instead of buying the pills, why don't eat actually the food, right? Find the source of the amino acid in the food, which is so important because we also were so afraid of the egg yolk because of the cholesterol levels. But there was a study about less than 2 years ago that showed that only 17% of our cholesterol are actually come from food. Everything else, it's from our liver. Did you read this? I was so excited when I read this because I called my dad and we spent like 30 minutes on the phone talking about cholesterol because he was so excited.
Yeah, most of it's made by your liver, by your own body.
Right.
And that's the hardest stuff to bind to.
My dad ate 3 eggs a day, and the doctor told him because his cholesterol was very high and said, stop eating those eggs. He's like, okay, yes, sir. No problem, sir. He ate them till the day he died. He was 86. So it's not, I think it's just your hereditary, it's whatever your body makeup is.
And also it's like the medicine is changing, right? Medicine's constantly changing and the science constantly changing, and they realized that. So that was a big shock for everybody about the cholesterol. And the funny thing is, I always had a high cholesterol since I was a teenager. So the cholesterol is supposed to be around 190, and my cholesterol was always constantly 230, 240.
Yeah.
And only few years ago, we actually stopped to look my cholesterol. And when I can't believe the doctor never realized that until a few years ago. When we start looking to the two cholesterol that you have, the HDL and the LDL, which is the LDL is supposed to be the low, the HDL is supposed to be the higher one. My LDL was a little bit high, very little, but my HDL was through the roof. Instead of having 60, I was like in the 90s.
Wow.
So that's why my total cholesterol was always high. And
So you had the good cholesterol was high.
my good cholesterol
Yeah.
was a little too, like, it was super high. And there was just like a good wow effect for me, because I was
Yeah.
like, okay. And I suppose, like, I try to eat as much egg as I can, but my cap is at least 3 a day.
Mhm.
Like and not always that I eat the egg yolk. I do a lot of the egg whites. But at least 3 a day. A good day that I'm like constant, like very consistent on my eating and pay attention to what I'm doing. It's about 5 a day.
Mhm.
But that's different because I do see my results is different that I want. But like not be like what I just want to tell you guys with that is like not being afraid to eat the protein that you need. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So those are the 5 ones that are like really gonna help you. And now there are 6 actions to how to turn it into food, into energy, and are so refined. So like cut out the refined sugar and junk food. When I say cut out, it's just like try to minimize. I'm never gonna tell you, oh, you cannot eat pizza. I'm not gonna tell you cannot eat McDonald's. Just listen to your body. How do you feel after eating pizza? How do you feel after eating McDonald's? And the funny
Guilty.
say it again. And the funny thing is, somebody asked me, it's like, so you tell me I can eat pizza every day? I'm like, go for it. Eat pizza every single day for the next week. And then you're gonna tell me how I feel. And they're like, fine, I see the point. It's just, again, it's like I eat pizza, okay, but it's like I'm not gonna eat pizza every day. Do I need to eat 4 slices? Like college, I would eat half of a large pizza, absolutely. But now my point is like, do I need to eat half of a large pizza, or can I eat 2 slices, feel satisfied, and maybe the next day eat the other 2? Right?
Mhm.
It's about portioning yourself. It's about being like understanding, guys, the difference between feel full and feel satisfied. I think to me was a huge game change. It's like and pay attention when you eat. So many times we eat while we work or eat while we're studying, and we're not focused on the food, right? And I was like, just like take like 5 minutes, just chew, like all the time as a gastro. And I grew up with him like, chew your food. And I never actually thought why. I never stopped to think about the why he used saying that. But like chewing your food and like seriously listen to your body. Is like you ate your like 40, 60, 70% of your plate, and you just stop for a second and you're like, how do I feel? Can I eat more? I'm okay. Okay, so it's like listen to your body. That's gonna make a big difference.
Mhm.
So add them in the metabolism boosting food that I listed. Okay, eat little and often, at least 5 or 6 smaller meals a day. And now you're gonna tell me, oh, but how I'm gonna be able to fit all that? I'm gonna also help you guys how to meal prep. If you guys want to learn how to meal prep, or in like even dividing smaller portions, or if you don't want meal prep but you want to make like a larger dinner and like taking out of that dinner and making like smaller things. So with a conference that I went back in October, I met with this woman that she was like a meal prep coach. That's the only thing she's do. And I was like, oh, are you a meal prep coach? How do you do that? And she was like, well, I teach my clients how to make one big dish. For example, if they want to do pot roast, she would do the pot roast, and she was like, the next day she would get the meat and make sandwich, get the meat and make salad, get the veggie for snacks. So you're gonna can be able to do this if you like. Just cook one time. When I used to meal prep more often, I used to make 1 day of cooking for 5 days of eating.
Mm.
It will be very similar to the food, but you also can change up a little bit. And I'll make a video for you guys doing a meal prep. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do this because that would take like 2 hours, and I wanna make you watch for 2 hours, but I'm trying to figure out a way to do that for you guys and show you guys that you actually don't have to eat the same things. You can get the same chicken and just by cutting or adding few things and make a completely different dish. Drink plenty of water. The biggest thing for me, we talk about this, it was like grabbing a water bottle. So everywhere that I go, I carry a water bottle now. So this way I just don't forget to drink water, because I would do that. I would spend the whole day, especially when I'm at home, and I'll completely forget to drink water for the whole day. The rest is a big, big, big one. I've been working so hard lately, and if I sleep about 6 hours a day, 5.5, 6 hours a day, the next morning that I wake up, I already feel I wake up and I'm like, I want something sweet to eat. Like then the same day, same, like the next day or like 2 days after. So again, if I sleep 5 hours a day, I wake up like right under the bakery, downstairs, and I'm like, maybe I should get something on the bakery for breakfast, which I never do. But just for the fact that I slept not well at all, like slept very little, okay, I would have this feeling like immediately. It was like scary. Yeah. Take a regular exercise, train smart, not hard. Okay, that's what we try to do. The mix up, that's why I do the circuits for you guys. That's why I have active recovery for you guys in the training. The correctives are a big, big piece of it too on Thursdays. Something easy that you guys can do. Mix up your forms of training. Yep, same thing. So a very basic diet plan. So again, like I'm actually gonna change that for a meal plan, because I really don't want you guys get stuck with the word diet. So this is like a very simple, very broad, and I'll send that to you guys. I'll put the slides in the PowerPoint for you guys. It's just like something very broad. It's like 6 meals, some snacks spread throughout the day, and always remember to drink water, right? So for example, breakfast. What should I eat for breakfast? Porridge with like whole oats, rolled oats, and whole milk or soy milk, or again, don't be afraid of adding the fats too much, okay? Especially in the winter, I try to only buy whole milk because of the vitamin D added, especially for the winter. Yeah, so again, a piece of fruit and your coffee. If you'd like to try the coconut oil, let me know how you feel. I use it for a little bit, but so this could be just like a very simple thing. Like if you'd like to even throw some walnuts or some nuts in the oatmeal, that would be awesome. And if you buy the regular oatmeal without the added sugar, and again, if you buy the instant one, make sure you buy the low sugar one. But like I would put the protein powder to make, to help a little bit sweet.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Is that
because a vegan protein, that's it's vanilla, that's
perfect. I like
that's
that.
Almost,
I actually have, Karen, I have always like 2 or 3 different types of protein. Because since I have to, like, I drink almost every day, we rotate. But like my vanilla one is always to put in and like mix with food. Like make with oatmeal, because like it's so, if I put chocolate, it would taste good too. But if like I put strawberry, it would taste just weird.
Yeah.
Hey, hi, Em. Yes, yes, absolutely I can. I'll put it, actually I'll write here before I put it on the Facebook for you guys. I use, so it depends for like, for example, I know a lot of people like, I feel good if I drink a vegan, a plant-based protein. I don't feel as stuffy. She's funny, but that's me, right? So I hear a lot of people like, oh, I love the soy proteins, or I like this. I actually use a GNC brand. It's super affordable and they're a little bit more natural than the regular ones. I can send a picture to you guys too, to the ones that I use that I really like. There is a company called Organifi, and the product great, but they're very expensive. So like that's the funny thing. Like the protein can go from, I buy mine for $22, like the 2.5 pounds, but like this Organifi one is like $79. So they're great, but also I know the Organifi, they do a great job about sales too. So I don't know actually if like I drink their green juice and they taste amazing. Cause like the green juice sometimes doesn't taste as good. And my sister gave me one from Neora, which is a company that she sells for like skincare, and they do all have wellness stuff too. And the red juice is really, really good too. At least tastes better. Because there's one that I bought, I think it's called Amazing Grass on GNC. It's really, really tastes like grass, like pure, like take grass from the ground and eat it. It does not taste good at all. But the ones are like, I can actually send that to you guys too. That's a great tip. So, okay, after breakfast, 10 a.m., what should I do? If you like to do a wrap, something easy, you could do a little bit of wrap, or you could do hummus and carrots. That's something so quick that you can just grab, right? You could do nuts. I actually sometimes, if I eat the oatmeal for breakfast, and on the meal plan, guys, there's a bunch of overnight oats recipes for you guys, because I have to do my breakfast the night before. So in the morning I don't be running. And I really like the overnight oats. I make the night before and like they're done. Super simple. So mid-morning, what I do is like sometimes I'll do my hard-boiled eggs and I just eat in the middle of the morning. Okay. And there's like on the meal plan, there's like a bunch of examples for you guys too. I just want to show you that I ate a little bit of protein in my breakfast. Now I'm eating protein again in my mid-morning, my lunch. Okay. Very basic. I know some of you guys said that you don't like a lot of carbs, but like quinoa or wild rice, even sweet potatoes, you feel good with that. So go for it. Those are amazing, amazing carbs. Okay, it's a little bit. And like, if you ask me about the portion, I can put a, thanks, I'm recording my screen. So if some of you guys want, put a little, like, I can put a, like a macros calculator for you guys too. If you guys want to do that, that would help. So what I do for me, I do 100 grams of like brown rice, for example, right? So I do 100 grams of brown rice, 100 grams of protein, but there's easier way to do it. It's like it's the palm of your hand, right? So your protein should be the palm of your hand and your fats should be the palm of your thumb. Actually, forgot to put the slide, but I would add the slide to the presentation till you guys come back. So this way will help you with your portions. Okay, and again, salad dressing, if you're eating salad, like I made this dressing that I learned with like my aunt back in Brazil. She puts olive oil, a little bit of mustard, and very like a small spoon of jam. It really tastes so good because the mustard gives the kick and the jam gives a little bit of sweetness. That's like much better than buying those processed ranch or blue cheese.
Right.
Yeah, and olive oil. too. Olive oil and lime or lemon, it's just really, really good. Again, afternoon, little bit of more nuts, right? So a little bit more protein, a little bit of good fat, bit of fruit. Something good too is something that I put, like, I don't know if you guys like cottage cheese, but I put fruit on my cottage cheese and it tastes so, so good. Right? Yes, okay, I'm glad I'm not
Yeah,
crazy.
it's awesome. It tastes good.
I really like it. Putting cottage cheese, and like I always sprinkle like chia or like flaxseed too in like my oatmeal or like my cottage cheese, just to give that extra protein and extra fat. For dinner, so sweet potatoes, little bit of feta, salmon, mixed green. You can bake that in like a split a second. Also, don't get me started in the air fryer. That's something that make my life so much easier. I can make salmon or salmon in 10 minutes. I literally just put olive, a little bit, and in 10 minutes, salmon's ready. The sweet potatoes, I can make sweet potato French fries, which is, I don't eat French fries anymore after trying sweet potato fries. I can eat French fries every day if I want, because I cut in slices and then just like throw in the air fryer and boom, right? So like just being creative with the things that you like, they're good for you. Little bit of mixed greens, like you don't forget your veggies. If you actually were able to choose, always get the dark leaf ones, right? To go more for your box, like kale and broccoli. Also, if you want to eat something before bed, like nuts are great, piece of fruit, an egg, okay? Also, protein, protein, okay? Don't, when you do a snack, don't just pick the fruit. Add the fruit or something else. Okay? Add the fruit with the nuts. So this way you will get a small amount of proteins as well, not just the fruit. Yeah. So one question that I got a lot from you guys was like, what should I eat before workout? If you're on the run, if you could, like, if you go straight to work, like a rice cake, the regular classic, make sure you don't get the one with like all the flavors, because there's like so much sodium on that. But like that and rice cake and nut butter, like spread that, you're gonna get your fats from your nut butter, you're gonna have a little bit of protein from the nut butter, and you're gonna have a good carbs. You're gonna have your carbs. So this way, it's like a really good kick. Sometimes I do the overnight oats, and if I want to just eat, oh my gosh, my toast and eggs in the morning, which normally is what I eat for breakfast, toast and eggs. And I will save my overnight oats for the afternoon and just like keep it in the fridge and just eat before the workout, or like something so quick that you could do to any nut butter if you like nut butter, or like banana, and like sprinkle some oats. I really like I don't mind the dry oats. And sometimes what I do at home too, I get like regular oats and I blend it so it becomes a powder. So I can add that to the banana. It would be easy to eat, not so chewy. So I have one thing at home that is like regular oatmeal, and another one which is the one that I blended. You could go ahead and straight buy that. I think it's like oatmeal. There's a name for it. I'll find the name for you guys. But it's like, I was like, I buy this gigantic thing of rolled oats. Why not just like take a little bit and just blend it? And Leo puts suggestion this thing. My husband, he gets eggs and he just take 2 tablespoons or 3 tablespoons of the powder, and he just sprinkles into when he cooks his eggs before he work out. Does not taste great, but I mean, it gets him going to the gym and he's happy. But I'm like, really? I mean,
why
you
is
eat that.
important?
So
I'm just, why is it important to eat before you work out?
Oh, great question. So you're gonna need, so our bodies stores our glucose and glycogen, right? And we're gonna need the extra boost. If you go, so if my body, for example, I burn a lot of calories. Remember, my BMI was super high. I'm 100% sure if I go without workout, I'm not gonna be able to lift as heavy. I'm not gonna be able to have the energy, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna pass out because I pass out a lot. I used to pass out a lot. I used my glucose were just like lower, like crazy, and we just won't have the energy, and I would up passing out. My sister has a great story about me passing out in her wedding, the middle of
Yeah,
their
don't
wedding.
even mention it. That was the best story, actually. I
That
wish I had a
was
video.
bad.
That would have been awesome.
No, I'm glad you don't. So why? Because I didn't eat the whole day. It got to a point that your body's like, well, or I have energy for this, or I have energy for my brain and my heart and my lungs, and the brain's like, nope, out. So it's super important that you get, and I promise you, you go work out, empty belly, you're not gonna be able to perform well, you know, especially because you guys are doing the HIIT, which is the high intensive, the circuits. You would need the fuel in your body. It's the same if you wanted to drive a car without the gas. Okay.
I think, so just to complement that, I
doctor.
think she was asking about the protein versus, you know, right, a carb or like a complex carb. But I think, again, you don't want to deplete, you know, your muscles. So I guess the protein would burn a little bit slower than, let's say, if you ate something with sugar, then your insulin would peak, then your glucose would drop, and then your body would start burning your glycogen instead of in your muscles, instead of having a more sustainable source pre-workout.
Yeah, because we have the two main ones, right? We have the carbs and we have we have the carbs and we have the fats. And the third one and the last one that we're supposed to be using for energy is our protein, right? So when our body starts using for the protein for energy, it's when we start taking the protein out of the muscle in order to use as a fuel, which is like, that's why the idea would be to use the carbs and the fats for the fuel. Does it help?
Yeah, definitely.
And the bottom line is like, whoa. The bottom line for me, it was like, this is like a quick roadmap that you guys can use it. You know, it's just the beginning. Those are some practical tips, because I didn't want to come over here and say, hey, follow this diet. And the least thing that I want for you guys, I just want you guys to understand how the food works a little bit better and start choosing better source. And the meal prep video is gonna help you guys a lot too, if you like to start like planning ahead. I remember the first time I did, it took me like over 3 hours to do it, and I was like super frustrated. But now I can do like now in 40 minutes, hour and a half. But that's because I do 5 days. If you want to do 2 days, that would be less than an hour. Right. And like just little tricks that I learned with time is like, you bake the same time you boil, the same time you use all the, like those days that I use all 4 burners in my house, because I only have 4, but I use the 4 burners and the oven and the air fryer at the same time, and I'll be like, oh, done.
Wow.
So doing little things like that. Now, does that make sense what I said? So the questions that I got from you guys was, the number one was like, how about the eating more to lose more? Did I cover that about the BMR? The basal metabolism when you're in rest, right? You'll be able to burn more.
So when you're low, like I know my metabolism is really low. Like I just don't think to eat. And that's, so I was wondering 2 questions. Okay. One is, you said listen to your body, but I'm never hungry, like ever. I could probably go days without eating and then I'd finally probably feel hungry. But like today, all I had was yogurt for breakfast and I just ate a couple dried blueberries. Otherwise,
man, that's awesome.
No, it's not.
I'm sorry. No. I'm just the opposite. I'm like eating all the time. So to me, that sounds great.
You want to share how much caffeine you drink a day?
At least 4 cups of this.
Wow.
Maybe 5.
That's
terrible.
That's why. Exactly.
3 of these.
Good.
But like I calculated the calories for the yogurt this morning with a couple of blueberries, 153 calories. That is not enough for the day, but I'm not hungry. I'm never hungry. And I'm
But what
afraid
about
to eat more. Like you're telling me to eat all this food, I'm just gonna I'm like, that's gonna be a lot of calories, but my metabolism's so low. So is there a time period in there where it takes to, build up?
It would not gonna be the one day to the next, 100% sure. But like, let's try this during the 6 weeks. And like, you don't have to eat big portions, not at all. Especially for you that you barely don't eat and you drink so much caffeine. But let me ask you something. Is the caffeine because you just needed the extra boost to study, or because you just got used to do that?
Because I'm tired. I'm tired all the time. So like I maybe get
Because you
3 or
don't
4
eat,
hours of sleep a night. It's bad.
and you don't
Why?
eat.
No.
You
What'd
see,
you say?
more do you eat, the more energy you're gonna have. Think about that too. So instead of like hitting more the caffeine, like start small. For Laurie, for you, I want just tiny small meals. And think about this. The perfect word was like, we eat so often in such small meals that think about your stomach as a car tank. If we keep half full all day, we're gonna eat without being hungry, because if I'm starving, there's no way I want to eat some broccoli or like lean meat, right? So when you starving, like, that's why people say do not go shopping, food shopping, when you're starving. It's a fact, because you're only gonna do like bad choices then without realizing. So like introducing small amount of meals throughout the day, like very small, like not like something that you like already, like the dry food without the added sugar, that's great. Okay, but like a little bit more often. Then this way you would start listen, like maybe you don't feel as tired.
Yeah, I hope not.
Let's try that. Yes, I'll
But
talk
can
to
you get more? Can you get more sleep though? I guess that's a big question. How come you're only getting 4 hours a night?
Because my husband is out of state in CRNA school, and I am here with. I have 4 kids, and then I have an international student too, and I'm the only one making money. And so I work 2 jobs right now.
Oh my God.
Kind of, but
Say no more. Say no more. But you do have to
You're
take
right.
care of yourself too, because if
Yeah.
something happens to you, there goes the pillar, of the family. It's true though. It's true.
It is.
It
And,
is.
like, trying to find like any time that you have, I don't know, to rest or take a nap. And then you've been working so hard and you're studying so hard, and but we work on that, right? We like baby steps, right?
yes.
Like
Right.
that's what I said in the first the first guys. It's like, take what serves you right now. Don't try to implement everything. Please, please, please don't ever try to implement every single thing, because you're just gonna get overwhelmed. So like
Right.
take one thing for today and you're like, okay, I'm gonna eat more protein. Like I'm gonna try everything that I eat through the day. I'm gonna try to eat a little bit more protein. I'm gonna try to slow down the coffee, or I'm gonna try to like when I buy the food, actually look at the food nutrition label and like pick the one with less added sugar, or not with not the one without the added sugar, right? Because there are options. I can't believe it. There are options. What kinds of food often I eat and how to speed up my metabolism. Somebody asked about something good for the kids. Like the kids love fried food, like throwing like some little things like pieces of potato like in the air fryer, because I know Steph asked a question, especially for Charlie. Like organizing like small containers too, and something that you can do quick. So I remember there was one time that I was meal prepping everything, and I meal prep smoothies. I can say smoothies. Carrie always make fun of me. Carrie, I can say smoothies. So getting like I was meal prepping my smoothies. I was literally getting freezing bags, like and putting like a bunch of stuff in it and zip it. And sometimes I would just grab the bag, put on the blender, blend, and out of the door. It's like trying to like I'm giving you a bunch of tips to you guys, so you try to figure it out a little bit easier ways you introduce that too.
Can I add one thing?
Yes.
Just make sure that, you know, you have your thyroid checked too, because
Mhm.
I have hypothyroid and I was constantly tired. And, you know, you don't realize it because you think it's your, you know, your lifestyle, you know, having kids and being so busy studying and working and all that. But it's important just to make sure as women, we don't do it. And to be honest, I think it's 1 in 5 women have a defective thyroid, hyper or hypo.
important.
So just, and that slows your metabolism really
Mhm.
down.
The hypo,
Uh,
yes.
The
yes.
hypo, yeah. So
Yeah, so that's, guys, oh, next time you do your checkups, check your hormonal levels. That would make a huge difference too. I also got a question about if I feel a little bit of headache after the workout. So 1, make sure you drink plenty of water. 2, make sure you're eating before the workout. 100% sure. Make sure you're eating. I gave you some good tips for eat before. I can talk to you guys more probably about that too. And just make sure, and if we have to slow down the workout, we're gonna do it. Okay, everything in your pace. Like I said, the beauty, the way I designed the workouts, and that's why I wanted to do the seconds, is to make sure you have your breaks, is to make sure you feel like, okay, 40 seconds, because last winter was 40 seconds, right? You're like, oh, that was way too much. And you could drop down for the 30. And eventually next week, we'll build up for the 40 again. Okay?
okay.
So let me get the chat could disappear. You're welcome. So again, what should I eat throughout the day for optimal fuel and nutrition? The combination would be a great, because see, I see so many people coming to me and it's like, oh, I'm trying the keto diet. I'm trying the keto diet, which is essentially the promise of the keto diet. It's getting you primarily fuel source, which is your carbs, and carbs like, oh, your body now is going to run into fat. Doesn't happen that quick and that often. So what I tell everybody that they were like, oh, I'm on a keto diet. I'm like, great. Go buy some strips that you can actually check your urine to see if your urine is ketogenic, to make sure you actually running your body's actually running in ketone, right? Check the ketone. And they're like, oh, I'm not doing this. I'm like, so don't do ketogenic. So this is super, super important. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Em. Thank you for being here. So guys, do you have any more questions? All the questions that I got from you guys, I went over. Yep.
No,
Any more questions?
it's great. It's I think it's honestly,
Sorry,
it makes,
your microphone's off.
Oh.
Yeah. You have a question? Because I was like, yeah.
I do. Do you have any comment on like the differences in types of sugar? Like there's so many, from like honey to like white sugar. So just like
Absolutely.
in oil, is there a difference in sugar?
Yes. So the ideal was like the refined ones, which is the white one, are the worst, right? So it's the same to the white pasta, the white bread. What they do is like they take the fiber, most of the fiber out. They take some of the vitamins out, and just to taste better. But like if you could use raw sugar or even like stevia, I'm not a big fan of artificial sweeteners, because what the artificial sweeteners do is just like they tell your brain is like the sugar coming, and the sugar never comes, right?
Yeah.
So the
like
insulin is gonna spike anyway. Say it again.
What about things like erythritol and xylitol?
So they're funny because I watched a documentary and there was like 20, like over 20 lists of different type of sugar. And it's like, let me ask you something. Why are you adding sugar to something?
No, mostly for things like gum. It has xylitol in it. And I know it's better for your teeth, but how is it in your body?
I would be like, how often do you know what I mean? It's like, how often do you eat gum? like constantly?
I don't
Really?
stressed. When I'm stressed, I just want to like snack, but it's not because I'm hungry. So I'll go through, like if I'm taking a test, I'll go through 7 pieces of gum in that test.
Okay. Can you go to a bag of like nuts? So I'm like, when I'm studying, I'm like constantly want to nib on something. And this was me on the class today. Like it's actually open. They want us to raw nuts with butter, but they didn't have it. So I'm like, roasted nuts, done. And like just something for like, because the gum is not gonna help you, and especially you need to eat. So I'm gonna be on your neck this whole week. It's like find better, like just change up a little bit. Doesn't need to be a lot, a little bit.
Okay.
Like I know you mentioned you love blueberries and like something to
Great.
like popcorn, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, awesome. Mm, okay, this is what I have for you guys. What do you think? Was it helpful?
Yes,
Very.
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're
It makes you
welcome,
feel
guys.
good, you know? So thank you.
Yeah, that's again, I just want to think about like open your eyes to say, hey, there's better options, or hey, like watch when you eat. The video too, it was awesome. Yesterday it was so funny when we were buying the nuts, like they're nuts and they're salty. And Lee was like, oh, I like this one. And he was like, it's only 100 and something calories. This one is 300. And I was like, look the serving. Like I already knew, I was like, look the serving. And he was like, oh, that was for serving. It was the same brand. Look how funny. There was the same brand. But one said on here, because it's like a rip. But see the yellow thing, the yellow sticker said 130 calories. And the other one was like 340.
Wow.
And he was like, oh, this one's much better. And I was like, there's no way, the same size. There's no way. When I turned it back, the other one, which had dry fruit in it, you know, the nuts mix that had like dry fruit, dry cranberries. The same one had, normally when you have like smaller packages like that, you're only supposed to have like the amount of calories one package. But people forget and do what he did yesterday. He was like, oh, 130. I was like, turn it back. It was like one serving. And the two serving was like 400 something. And I was like, no. And they actually had it added sugar in that one. I was like, it's nuts. Like, seriously. So we're like, okay, let's get the one without the added sugar. It's like little things like that. They will be, if you start doing, it will be a little bit pain, but they're going to become habits. And when they become habits, you don't have to stress about it. You don't have to think about it. Right? So guys, I really hope this was helpful.